Hi, guys, and welcome back. And we're going to continue our talk today about exercise in general. So, yesterday we discussed a little bit about a little bit of cardiovascular exercise, what it is, and what you can do to do cardio exercise. Right, so today I'm going to continue that. And for this purpose, I'm going to divide exercise in cardiovascular exercise and resistance training. So, yesterday we discussed the cardio part, and I will still in future sessions discuss resistance training. But resistance training includes everything from push-ups, squats to weighted exercise. So that's a whole other thing which I'm going to discuss in due course. But today I want to discuss the format of the exercise session. Right. So now I don't know if you remember or if it was the same with you, but when at school, which is for most of us, it's the introduction to exercise, is PE classes and school sport. Then your coach or your teacher would have you run a couple of laps, and then you'd have to stretch, and then you'd actually start exercising, or you'd start practice. Right. So I want you to please forget that. It's almost right, but it's also a winning recipe for injury, especially if you've not been active for a while. So instead, what we do is we start every session with a dynamic warm up, dynamic stretching. So whenever you hear the word dynamic, it means movement. Static means no movement, stationary. Dynamic is movement. So we want to start with a dynamic warm up and a dynamic stretches. That includes things like shoulder rolls, it's leg swings, it's rotations. It's literally preparing the body for movement. So it's going to activate your central nervous system, letting your body know, okay, we are getting ready to move. We need the muscles to start getting warmer. We need the joints to start getting lubricated so they move more easily. All of that combined to prevent injury and also to give you much better performance when you actually do your exercise. So, very, very important. If you're unsure about what to do, if you Google dynamic stretches, it's you can pick and choose. As long as it takes you through the full range of motion in the body parts that you're going to be using in the exercise. Right, so that's the first part. Then, what I want you to remember and to be cognizant of is when you exercise, it's what we call exercise form. It's how you do the exercise. I mean, even the Bible gives us actual advice on specifically running. Strangely enough, in Proverbs 4 verse 25, it says, "Let your eyes look directly forward, and your gaze be straight before you. Ponder the path of your feet, and then all your ways will be sure." Now, this is a bit tongue in cheek, but it is very, very good running advice. To look straight before you, to be aware of where your body is, to know where your feet are. If you are running and you start experiencing knee pain or hip pain, one of the first things to troubleshoot is to make sure where your feet are landing as you're running. If both of your feet are falling in the same line, you're going to get some knee injuries or maybe even hip injuries. So each one should be in their own lane. You need to be aware of where your body is, how your body is moving. I need you to be quiet and to focus and feel where your body is during exercise. Then, coupled with that, because it's not always so easy to know where your body is, even though it sounds as if it should be a basic thing. That is the reason why we have mirrors in gym. The mirror is your friend. It is not just there for the people who are vain and who like to admire themselves, or for the skinny high school boy who first saw, maybe think he's seeing a little bit of a vein or a little bit of a bump forming on the upper arm, It's not for them to admire themselves. It's actually for everyone to check their form while exercising. So, what we want is, especially when you're starting out, we do not like rounded things. Our body was not made to be rounded. So, we don't want rounded shoulders. We want straight back shoulders. Also, not there, because now you're rounding in the other direction. Just nice pulled back into neutral position. We don't want a rounded back or a curved back. We need to be up straight. This is where the milkshake muscle comes in, because it's impossible to slouch when you activate your milkshake muscle. So if you are uncertain about how to do a certain exercise, once again, Google and YouTube are two of the best free resources that you can get on how to do an exercise. And please check yourself in the mirror. Make sure you're actually doing it the way they are telling you to. Because how are you going to know if your back is rounded if you can't see it? We first need to practice the movement the way it's supposed to be done before our bodies can recognize that this is the way it's supposed to feel when I do this correctly. Right, so use all of that. There's a lot of resources, free resources available. And then for the end of the session, this is where passive stretching comes in. This is the stretches where when you stand and then you bend at your hips and you try to touch your toes. These are the stretches traditionally that we did at school at the beginning of a practice session. So they are important. They help you increase range of motion. They actually have effects on your stress levels, believe it or not. It can assist your body in the fight or flight decision or situation when you stretch. And also it helps prevent injury. It will also help lengthen, or not really lengthen the muscle, but enable your body to go through full range of motion of what's supposed to happen at a joint and what the full range of motion of a muscle should be. So I'm going to quickly recap. We need to start each session with a dynamic warm-up. Then during the session, we need to be aware of how we are moving, that we do the exercises with correct form. And then at the end of the session, we need to cool down and we need to stretch, do passive stretching, right? So they can also help relieve pain. So that is also one of the extra benefits of exercise. When we start exercising and when you get going for at least 15 minutes at a time, your body will start releasing natural painkillers known as endorphins. That is also the things that are responsible for the elevated mood. So if we do this correctly and we structure our sessions correctly, then we will minimize injury, risk for injury at least, and we will increase energy levels, increase concentration, improve our mood, as well as all of the other physical benefits that comes along with exercise and movement, such as getting stronger, improved bone density, longevity. So there's numerous benefits to exercising and structuring your exercise this way. Always remember, listen to your body. If something hurts, stop. If your body is telling you something, stop and listen to your body. So that's all for me for now. So remember, you are fearfully and beautifully made.